They've been very irresponsible.
What?
And I have a feeling they would have never gone in with me.
Oh, really? Really? We need to go over an interview that Trump did with Maria Bartiromo that is like nothing I've ever seen before. And it's stunning how much Trump's brain is falling apart as you're about to observe. A reminder that related to that, Republicans were very excited about making age an issue whenever Biden was in the race. Now, age is not a conversation that benefits Trump politically, but maybe we should be talking about it given what we're about to observe. But I don't even know if it's age, as Trump says. I think it might just be him. But you remember this moment?
Thank you all. Have a good time with your Bitcoin and your crypto and everything else that you're playing with.
Yeah. So it seems Trump, since speaking at the Bitcoin convention thing, hasn't learned much more about crypto because he gets asked a question about that speech. And see if you can figure out what the heck comes out of his mouth.
What about crypto? You spoke at that crypto conference last weekend, and you said that you'd like crypto to have a more prominent space in America.
Well, you have to understand about crypto. Crypto is a very interesting thing, very high level in certain ways, intellectually very high level. But if we don't do it, China's going to do it. China's going to do it anyway. But if we don't do it, China's doing it. China's already doing it. And if we don't do it, other countries are going to do it. So we might as well be at the forefront. And
what does that mean? She said, you said we should be on the forefront. What does that look like? Oh, we have to do it. Right, but do what specifically? It. Otherwise, other people are going to do it. And if they do it, then us doing it, we're going to be late to doing it. And we want to be the first to doing it, not the last to doing it. You don't want to be the last to doing anything.
And there are people in crypto that are very, very smart people who do love our country, and they think it's good. Who knows? Maybe we'll pay off our $35 trillion, hand them a little crypto check, right? We'll hand them a little Bitcoin and wipe out our $35 trillion.
But how do you want it to be more prominent in America? How will that work?
Oh, it's going to work easily. It's already prominent. It's moving along. It's very loosely regulated. That's one of the reasons it's moving along. But it is a different form of a currency, and it's going to end up benefiting the country. But if we shut it down, like, Biden's trying to shut it down, Biden doesn't have the intellect to shut it down. Can you imagine this guy's telling you to shut something down like that? He has no idea what the hell it is.
There's so much projection there. Coming from the guy who said, have fun with your Bitcoin and your crypto and whatever the heck else you're playing with. Go have fun playing with your Bitcoin. I'm sorry. One more time, this part, then we'll move on. I have so many clips to play for you, but this is not the sign of someone who knows what he's talking about. He always says about subjects that he doesn't understand. He says, I know smart people who like it and think it's good. He says, someone else doesn't understand it. Or he'll say, no one knew about this until like 2 seconds ago, which means he didn't know about it until 2 seconds ago. Like when he said he didn't know what the word indictment meant until he got indicted. That's a problem. And maybe that's why he spelled it indicated instead of indicted when he made that original announcement. But that's what's going on here. And then he just says it over and over.
Well, you have to understand about crypto. Crypto is a very interesting.
Remember, Trump, sir, tears. What are you going to do to enlarge the role of crypto in American society? Go ahead, sir.
Well, you have to understand about crypto. Crypto is a very interesting thing, very high level in certain ways, intellectually very high level. But if we don't do it, China's going to do it. China's going to do it anyway. But if we don't do it, China's doing it. China's already doing it. And if we don't do it, other countries are going to do it. So we might as well be at the forefront. And there are people in crypto that are very, very smart people who do love our country, and they think it's good. Who knows? Maybe we'll
and then we'll pay off our national debt with it, right? With a Bitcoin check is how we're gonna do that. Wow. And then he ends it by saying, Biden doesn't know what the hell crypto is. Okay, he can't figure it out. And then Maria Bartiromo goes, Okay, but how? I get that we're gonna do it, but what is doing it, and how are we gonna do it? And he goes, it'll be easy. It's gonna be great. But what is gonna be great? Ooh, wow! And then this one's a doozy as well. What the heck is he? He's talking about Mark Zuckerberg calling him, and somehow it pops in his head that clips can be shared.
But I was called by Mark Zuckerberg yesterday, the day before, on this same subject, and he actually apologized. He said they made a mistake, et cetera, and they're correcting the mistake. Google, nobody called from Google. One of the things, like doing a show like yours, your show, you see it on Fox, but where you really see it is all over the place. They take clips of your show that you're doing right now with me, and if I do a good job, they're going to vote for me. They're going to vote for me because it's not just on Fox. It's on Fox is a smaller part of it. You're on all over those little beautiful cell phones. You're all over the place. You have a product. You have a great product. You have a great brand. So you have to get out. You have to get out. You have to do things like your show and other shows. And Google has been very bad. They've been very irresponsible.
What?
And I have a feeling that Google is going to be close to shut down because I don't think Congress is going to take it. I really.
What? Mark Zuckerberg called me. Google didn't call me. You have to go. You have to go out and do things because your beautiful phones have clips on them. And did you know? Did you know this? Did you know that when you do an interview, it's not just broadcasted on the network that it is conducted on, but as we're doing here, you can show moments from it in other spaces on other platforms. Did you know that? The more you know. And somehow gets back around to, I think Google's going to be shut down. No, I don't think so. I don't think Google's going to be shut down. I hate to break it to them. Before going on with some wild moments like that, let's take a second to address a more serious subject, which is him trying to pretend like he's happy that American citizens are home who were held in Russia, as we reported on yesterday, who were being wrongly detained. And since this news was announced, you have Trump pretending like he's happy, but then getting right back to his selfish disparaging of the deal, pretending like he could have done something better. And we'll talk about that, but take a look at this. Sick stuff from Trump.
Big news today. Russia and the U.S. In an exchange, prisoner swap, largest East-West prisoner swap since the Cold War. What is your reaction that Russia freed the Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich and others?
Well, as usual, it was a win for Putin or any other country that deals with us, but we got somebody back, so I'm never going to be challenging that. It wouldn't have happened with us. We would have gotten him back. We wouldn't have had to pay anything. We wouldn't have had to let some of the great killers of the world go, because that's what's happened, as you know.
Watch. This is legendary self-embarrassment. Watch what he does. He says, the deal was bad. And in mere seconds, prepare yourself, because you're going to have whiplash. He says he doesn't know anything about the deal, okay? Two thoughts can't exist simultaneously when they contradict like this.
And the deal's very complex because it just came out, so nobody understands the deal yet. And they make it complex so you can't understand how bad the deal is for us. But we got him back, and we could have had him back. We should have had him back a long time ago. It should have never happened. It would have never happened. He shouldn't have been taken in the first place, and it would have never happened with us if I was president.
So it was more than prisoner swaps? It was something else?
I have no idea what they did. I just know they announced.
No. Donald, no. That's not how logic works. You've just took logic behind the... What's the phrase? Behind the liquor store and beat it up? That doesn't sound right. You abused logic there. And I'm charging you with assault. How on earth in 1 minute can you go from saying this was a terrible deal that we never would have made? Then she says, oh, well, tell me about some of the specifics. I have no clue. I've literally no clue about this deal, but it was terrible. I know that because Biden did it. Wow. By the way, he says this never would have happened, which is something that he just can't prevent himself from saying about everything. Producer Jade and I were reviewing clips about something else, and Jaden was saying, he says this about everything. Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Israel, Gaza, this. Nothing bad would have ever happened if I were president. Well, bad things happen when you were president, so that doesn't make any sense. We talked about the world conflicts that were going on. And also, Paul Whelan, one of the citizens who was returned home, has been detained since 2018. It happened while you were president. You can't... I understand that there's something that works for people about saying that never would have happened when something didn't happen until Biden became president. For example, we've talked about how it's a dumb argument to say Russia's invasion of Ukraine never would have happened if Trump were still president. But you at least have a logical thought process there, which is it didn't happen, it could have happened, and then it happened while Biden was president. Again, we've gone through, I don't have the time to get into why that's an invalid argument, but there's at least an argument there that has some logic to it. You can't say something never would have happened if you were president when the something at issue happened while you were president, right? That doesn't work, okay? Paul Whelan has been detained since 2018 when you were president. Wow. And you couldn't get him back with your magical Putin would have just done it because he loves me deal, which is what Trump says. He says, I could have facilitated this without any prisoner swap. But if you look into the details, as I did, it is complicated. Trump's right about that. There's all these different prisoners from different countries going to Russia. Then obviously we're getting our Americans back. And this was a good deal. It absolutely should have happened, and now people are back with their families, and that's incredible. No longer is the horrific injustice taking place. Then you have this.
We're not going to let people come to build them in Mexico and build cars and sell them in the United States and close up Michigan and South Carolina and other places.
Won't it be more expensive if you
No,
do it here?
No, it won't be. It'll be great. It'll be unbelievable. And
MAGA. Do you remember? This just happened. I don't know why I said it like that. MAGA right now, if you're not familiar, is freaking out over this clip of Kamala Harris saying something to the effect of, this shows the power of diplomacy and the strength of understanding the significance of understanding diplomacy, or something like that. And they're saying, oh my God, she talked in circles or something. Boo, she can't talk. They're trying to start that with her. Doesn't work as well, but that's your guy who can't express a policy. What would you do on crypto? I would do it. I would do it hard. Okay? Me and crypto are going to go at it. That's what I'm saying. And then here, what the question, just so you're aware, from Maria Bartiromo, is a good one, to her credit, even though she's a disaster. It's, how will you prevent, as you're saying, presumably through tariffs, cars being manufactured in other countries without increasing the cost of cars in the United States, which would happen. And sometimes that's totally worth it. Biden has done tariffs related to EVs. It makes sense. Sometimes you got to do it. But how are you? And he goes, no, it wouldn't, because it would be great. Okay, but from a policy perspective, how are you going to add one of his proposals as 10% tariff across the board on everything from foreign imports? What would that do to inflation? Oh, it would be great. It would be great for inflation. Everything would be great. And nothing bad would happen if I were president. Even the bad things that did happen while I was president wouldn't have happened if I were president now. But if I were... Think about this. All the people who watch the show regularly, if you divide just the people who aren't subscribed, that group, if each and every one of you click the subscribe button today, we'd be instantly to 1 million subscribers. That'd be pretty cool. Click it if you haven't already. Thank you so much. Back to the video. All right. We charge forward.
she's terrible. She's not respected on the in these foreign countries. I mean, she's laughed at. Everybody can't believe that this is happening. Look,
But she's polling better than Joe Biden.
She was sent to see Putin about not going into Ukraine. He would have never gone in with me.
Oh, really? Really? Just like, okay.
He went in 3 days later. That's it. This is what's happening. So, well, it's a little bit like a fighter, though. You know, you have a fighter and he's winning, and then somebody else is getting punished and beaten. And they say, let's take that fighter out, let's put a new one. That's what they've done here. This was a coup to Joe Biden. And I'm not a fan of Biden. He's not a smart guy, never was. You can go back 30 years, he was never a smart guy. But she's not smart either. She's not a smart person.
Are you going to debate her?
Well, I want to. We're leading in the polls, it seems, by quite a bit still. She's better than he is, but I think ultimately she'll be worse than him. She's more radical than him. He was a phony. She is also, but she's not a phony in terms of policy. She actually wants open borders. She actually wants to defund the police. To me, when you say
false,
open borders, defund the police, you don't have to go into the rest of it. But you're going to have tremendously high energy prices. She doesn't want any fossil fuels, which will destroy the country, frankly.
But just to be clear, she's doing a rewrite of history right now. She says that
Of her history.
of her history. She says, I don't necessarily mean I will ban fracking now. And she said, well, you know, I don't necessarily need to do Medicare for all. And I was never the border czar. You know that.
Yeah, she's doing a rewrite. No, it's not a rewrite, it's lies. And she also said, and so did he, that we had a very secure border under them. We had the worst border in the history of 20.
Do you notice how he's not addressing the debate thing? Well, I wanted to debate her. Well, then debate her. But you're not going to debate her because you don't think she's smart? Sounds like the opposite. You think she is smart. So you're scared. You're scared. You can't... With everything you've said, the disparaging you've done of Vice President Kamala Harris's intelligence, and you're scared to debate her, Johnny boy? Oh, bubby. Okay.
20 million people came in. 20 million people. And you know what they do? They just say it. And they keep saying it. The press helps them as much as possible. But they say very strongly, we had a great border. And people say, you know, it's funny. You say it enough times and people start to believe it too. That's the scary part.
That's what you do. That's what you do. They're coming from jails. They're coming from insane asylums. They're coming from jails. Hannibal Lecter. They're coming from jails. They're coming from insane asylums. They're coming from jails. Hannibal Lecter. That's you, okay? You try to brainwash people through repetition to believe crazy things. Kamala Harris says we want and are trying to facilitate a secure border. You said, Trump, while you were president, that the border wasn't secure, which is why you wanted Congress to do something. But now you're saying Congress doesn't have to do anything and Trump or Biden could do everything by himself. So you admitted, because you were partly running even the second time on further securing the border, that there's more work to be done. And your telling of the world that the border's open when it's not doesn't help, by the way. And your shooting down of a bipartisan border deal that would have been once in a generation in its significance doesn't help, by the way. So maybe you need to sit this one out.
They are, it's like a whole con job. It's misinformation, disinformation at the highest level. So now their new thing is we had a safe border. We had a wonderful border.
All right, he's ranting about that way too much. I need to find the moment where Maria Bartiromo does follow up on the debate here.
On the debate, she's taunting you now. She's saying he doesn't want to debate me. Say it to my face, President Trump. That's what she said the other night.
Look, she's a third-rate candidate. She failed in her attempt to...
You're going to get defeated by a third-rate candidate? Ooh, bubby.
Against many other candidates. You know, she was the first one to drop out. She never made Iowa. And that was when you had a normal press. Now you have a press that's trying to protect her. The media is really dishonest, and you have a press that's trying, so maybe she'll do better. I don't know. But I think ultimately, when they hear she wants to defund the police, when they hear that she wants open borders and always wanted them. But it is amazing. I watched the news yesterday, and it's almost like she wants to have strong borders all of a sudden. She was the worst border czar in history. And, you know, with politics, it's your first thought that you always go back to. She wanted open borders, and that's where she'll be. She wants all of these things that are bad for our country. And she does want to defund the police. She's weak on police. I have...
All right. Trump was the one who attempted in his policy to, from the federal government standpoint, pull back or defund federal investments that go to law enforcement. Kamala Harris and the Biden administration have overseen the largest federal investment in the history of the United States of America in law enforcement, public safety, violence reduction. So the defund the police candidate, Mr. Abolish the FBI, I don't know if he says that, but MAGA people say that. And your ally Marjorie wearing defund the FBI shirts. If there is a defund the police movement at this point in time, it's most prevalent in the Republican Party. And also, yes, she wants a secure border. No, she doesn't want an open border. That's why she's supportive of legislation to do exactly that you got Republicans to shoot down, among other proposals and initiatives like Biden's recent executive orders relating to the border. We just happen to think that you can have a secure border, which you are doing everything to prevent on Biden's watch by getting Republicans to obstruct, and also a humane process. Get that. Can you imagine? And we also celebrate large amounts of lawful immigration, which now Republicans are also getting weird on. And we think we can speak about and to people compassionately while facilitating secure border policies. That's what we want to do. But the nonsense coming out of MAGA makes that very, very difficult. I wish I could show you more. We've gone on too long. But there it is. What an interview. What a segment. Let me know what you thought of all of it in the comments. And if you want to get Luke Beasley Show merch, you can do so by going to lukebeasleymerch.com or on YouTube. It should just pop up somewhere on YouTube.